My name is Aidan Zero, and welcome to Gradient, the show where I talk about stuff I like and the stuff that I don't. Getting to talk about Nintendo games isn't really a privilege, it's more of a right, and you bet your ass in this video, I'm gonna own the libs and exercise my freedoms, baby. I have a gun under the couch somewhere. Right before the Nintendo Switch released, my enjoyment for playing games on a console was honestly dying. It was 2016 and I really didn't need my Wii U anymore, so I sold it and did what any high schooler my age did back then. Never leave Silver Rank and CSGO.
Oh, dang.
With a fair amount of Minecraft for good measure. Though to say I completely lost interest in Nintendo would be a lie. Their next console, codenamed the NX, had so much allure to it back before they announced it as the Switch. It was rumored to be this hybrid console, taking the best of what each system did for each of Nintendo's branches. I mean, it's a small tree, but still. And would house the future visions for major series like The Legend of Zelda. This was all stuff that was at least partially confirmed before the Switch was revealed, and they all sounded like home runs of ideas. And well, they were. The original Nintendo Switch stands alongside the PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo DS as some of the best selling consoles of all time. And that's no surprise in retrospect. This single machine held so much influence in the gaming space. I see tweets here and there about how the Switch 2 looks just like a PC handheld, completely forgetting that PC handhelds before the Switch looked like this.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just trying to read.
So with the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out soon, I wanted to talk about what I want to see happen, not only with the hardware, but also the games I want to see on the system within the first couple years of its life. This is the Switch 2's Most Wanted. I can talk all day about how cool the Joy-Cons are. I can talk all day about how shit they are, but for the sake of brevity, let's get after the good. Spearheading gyro-based aiming is honestly awesome, and is probably going to be the Joy-Cons' big claim to fame when everything is all said and done. Boy, I wonder if the Switch 2 will have a similar, simple, but game-changing controller feature. Oh, wait! It's all but confirmed that there are optical sensors in each Switch 2 Joy-Con, allowing them to function as a mouse on its side, kind of like this. This would be great for games like Splatoon and Mario Maker, and would open the door for an entirely new type of Switch port when it comes to grabbing games from the Wii or even other mouse-based games.
I'm looking at you, Epic Mickey.
Anyway, speaking of Mario Maker, picture this. Stay with me here. Super Mario Maker 3D, baby. God, dude, I got chills just then. I just got chills. Holy shit. It's probably more likely that Mario Maker 3 will just be more of the same thing, with only 2D levels being available to make, especially considering the release of Wonder and them also being able to translate the style of 3D World quite effortlessly into 2D. I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm sure that's the approach Nintendo's gonna take here, but I can still dream. Just imagine Super Mario Maker 3D with all the bells and whistles you'd expect out of a game like this. I mean, like, across Mario Maker 1 and 2, I have hundreds of hours logged in both playing the levels and making them. It is such a fantastic game for what it is that I honestly think that a 3D version could become, like, the game I have the most playtime in out of every single game I own. I would never leave. Before I move on, I want to talk about the Joy-Con some more. They might drift, they might suck, they might be tiny, and they might suck total ass, but it's still, to this day, really cool to me how you could use one Joy-Con on its side, like an NES or SNES controller, and then hold the two together to have a more complete layout. I've been playing some Wii games lately, and the Joy-Cons being two separate controllers is much better than being tethered to the Wiimote like the nunchuck is. It's just such a fully realized Nintendo controller. I don't really know how else to put it. Hopefully, they're able to iron out some of the glaring problems that it has. I think the easiest fix they could do for the Switch 2 Joy-Cons is Hall Effect joysticks. I mean, it was the easiest fix I could do for my Switch 1 Joy-Cons. That shit was like $4 on Amazon. The analog sticks on these things suck. They always drift, and I feel like they click at the same point when you rotate them. Listen to this. It feels like you're playing with an octagonal gate with only one notch. It's ridiculous to me. Also, they always don't slide into the Switch half the time, so they're being disconnected partially, and they're freaking tiny. I mean, these things are like small, dude. I always have to hold them in like a certain way so they don't go flying out of the position in my hand. All of these seem like easy problems to fix going into the new generation. So let's hope that Nintendo does just that. With the Switch 2 having backwards compatibility, it calls into question for me whether or not many of Nintendo's new entries and many of their franchises are going to be direct continuations or more of a sidestep in terms of gameplay and mechanics. What do I mean by this? Well, we already have Smash Bros. Ultimate available to play on the Nintendo Switch 2, so what's the point of an even bigger, more blown out Smash Bros. Game? Well, I'll tell you, it's DLC money. Honestly, a complete version of Smash Ultimate, similar to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, could do some serious numbers. That aside, I feel like Sakurai has a great opportunity to scale back the roster and refine what each character does, making them feel new and wholly unique. They could even call it Super Smash Bros. 2. I don't know. It's just an idea that's so dumb it might work. I want to see Tommy Angelo from Mafia added to the roster. Make it happen. Another series that's likely to get one of these sidestep entries is Mario Kart. This one feels way more likely than Smash Bros. To me, especially with there being rumors of the next Mario Kart putting a big twist on the formula floating around as early as 2022. What do I want to see, though? I think it would be absolutely insane, in the best possible way, if the next Mario Kart was open world. Now, put away the tomatoes and hear me out, please. Imagine being able to drive casually from Baby Park to Cheeseland to refuel, get a new car part, then seamlessly jumping into an active online race over on Yoshi's Island over there, collecting prize coins for your next part and all that. I mean, I'm just spitballing, but there's so much potential for this idea. It just makes my mind race. It just makes my mind In conclusion, I absolutely hate Forza, but would love to see its format get adapted into a Mario Kart game, and I am telling the truth. It's so cool to me how we got games like Doom Eternal and The Witcher 3 on this console. I'm expecting nothing less going into the Switch 2, seeing as it's looking to be about as powerful as an Xbox Series S, or if you don't use the metric system, around 600 GameCubes. This means that companies will have to put in way less work into getting their games to run for the console. I honestly think every big third party is eyeing up the Switch 2 for some sort of graphically intense release. It's definitely very exciting and very possible, which gets me even more excited. God, like what if Rockstar brings over Red Dead 2 or even GTA 6? What if Atlas brings Metaphor? What if they unveil Persona 6 on the Switch 2? What if CD Projekt Red brings Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 4? What if Microsoft brings... What do they got? Getting a bit more out there here, but wouldn't it be awesome to see some of Sony's first-party titles make it as well? I mean, like games like The Last of Us, Spider-Man, and God of War are already available on Steam, so this wouldn't be like the craziest thing in the world to me. In conclusion, I just want to play Astrobot without having to spend $500 on a PlayStation. Jesus Christ. Not only would I love to see third parties release these games onto the Switch 2, I kind of expect it, well, I guess barring Sony. As for myself, I have a $1 million bet on Fallout 76 getting a Switch 2 port. So if I'm wrong, it's the Squidward spare change box for me. That's about $2 for you rapscallions watching in 1925, and about 2 Bitcoin for my chooms glazing in 2125. I'm not a crypto bro. I just thought it would be funny if this joke had a juxtaposition. It was not funny. Enough wild speculation, let's be honest. Astrobot's probably not coming to the Switch 2. I want to talk about some stuff that I think is just bound to happen, even if we haven't seen or heard about it yet. 3D Mario. I am so excited for the next 3D Mario. I honestly owe it to Odyssey for getting me back into Nintendo as a whole. This game was just such a breath of fresh air for me and encouraged me to go back and check out some of Mario's other 3D outings with more scrutiny. Hell, to this day, I speedrun 16 star on Mario 64 from time to time. Moving around in these games is just so fun to me. It's just honestly like cathartic. Being able to flow through these levels, seeing moves steps ahead. I really do love these games. So that leaves us with the big question. What the hell has the 3D Mario team been doing since 2017? And to be honest with you, I think we already got a glimpse at what they're up to. In 2021, Nintendo was going about their fair share of Wii U ports, and the next in line was Super Mario 3D World. They actually gave some meaningful changes to the base game I'll probably talk about in another video because it's pretty cool. Comparing Mario games in particular between original and re-releases has always been really interesting to me, so maybe expect that along with Astrobot for the Switch too. But the big deal with this release for me was Bowser's Fury, a fully new, albeit short campaign for Mario that took place in an open world that would get increasingly more open as you completed each zone. To this day, it still kind of blows my mind how well Mario, of all franchises, can translate into the open world, but it just worked so well here. It worked so well that I can't imagine Nintendo going in any other direction for the next 3D Mario game. I mean, the writing is on the wall, and the scales of these games seem to get larger and larger with each iteration. The next 3D Mario game, open or not, will undoubtedly be the game I spend the most time in this year. I just think this is where we're headed after Bowser's Fury, and I am all for it. Another game that just seems so perfect for the new Switch is a new Animal Crossing. The graphics in New Horizon to me haven't aged a day, and I hope Nintendo fully recognizes this. They could go full Tears of the Kingdom mode, but for Animal Crossing, and do something incredible with the previous game's engine as a base. I want cities, I want traversal. Let's see what you got, Nintendo. It's with the ultimate cozy game. I really think they could do it. New Horizons, unfortunately, came out at a perfect time. All of us were inside, so all of us were on Animal Crossing, right? I must have put in like 300 hours into that game in 2020 alone. It's a top 5 Switch 1 game for me, at least. Nowadays, I'm a bit more busy, so it would be cool if the game would reflect that with like more goings-on around the city, maybe. I think another shoe-in change is that they could give the villagers just an ounce more of personality. Last year, I went back and played New Leaf for a few months, and dude, the villagers were ruthless sometimes. I want Pikmin 5 on Pikmin 4's engine. Make it happen. Oh wait, they maybe actually are with this one. Let's see. Who else could use a well-deserved glow-up? It's Donkey Kong! I played Country Returns for the first time recently, and it's fantastic. I immediately went out and bought Tropical Freeze for the Wii U. I'm not done with the first one yet, but you could safely say that I'll be buying anything DK-related going into the Switch 2. These games are just straight-up fun. I think Retro and Nintendo EPD pull a Shaq and Kobe and drop the Donkey Kong game. A full successor to 64, the way that Country Returns was a successor to Country. I want to see Donkey Kong in 3D. I mean, the guy just moves so nice! This has to be something Nintendo's thought about, right? Or maybe we could just get another shitty remaster. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Twilight Princess and Wind Waker will most definitely be on the Switch 2 at some point. Right? What I want to see from the Zelda team is something ambitious, but maybe in a different way than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm talking about pushing the system to its absolute limits. They've been working with Monolith Soft on just insane set pieces for the past 2 3D Zelda games. Let's hone in on that 600 GameCubes thing and dial it up to 11. I think this console generation, we're going to see the fabled Ocarina of Time remake. Unless the Zelda team struck gold again within the past couple of years, we're probably a ways out from seeing the real next step the series takes. So even if it isn't this, it's probably going to be ports and remakes for the next few years anyway. I just think that slims down the odds like even more. Let's have one thing clear. I don't want it to look anything like that shitty Unreal demo that guy's been working on for like 9 years. It's really been that long, and it's actually pretty funny to me at this point. But I do think with enough art direction, something really special can happen. Ocarina at its core is such a fantastic game that it wouldn't need many gameplay changes, if any. They could just bum every single priority into how it looks. Hell, it could still even run at 20 FPS. I wouldn't care. And that, along with all the other bullshit, has me excited to see what Nintendo has in store for the Switch 2's first year or so. Most of the first Switch's top-selling games came out in the first year or so. I do think that Nintendo will see this and try to follow suit this time around, as well with some absolutely great games and third-party releases. That does it for me. That does it for the first episode of Gradient, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching.